Share ko lang po yung excuse. Thank you, ma'am. Share ko lang po yung screen ko po. All right. So, good morning, dear student. Good afternoon, rather. So, apology for the wrong information. So, good afternoon, dear student. Again, welcome to our class. I hope that everyone is here already. It's very nice to see you again, Saint John. So today, uh, we will have our discussion about very good topic. But later on, I will tell you what is that topic. So before that, let us pray first, and let's acknowledge the presence of our dear Lord. So who would like to lead us to prayer? Can I call someone? Mary Pauline, can you lead us to prayer?
In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Heavenly Father, we come before you with a very enthusiastic and grateful heart. We adore your divine majesty and thank you for the precious gift of life you have given us for this day. Thank you for the unconditional love that saved us before punishment. Lead us to the right decisions as we start our day with your presence. We ask for understanding and knowledge as we listen to the discussion and use our teacher with our wisdom to impart useful knowledge to each one of us. May this class conclude with full of comprehension and enjoyment as we engage ourselves in learning. Let the knowledge that we gain be part of our success for your glory. Today, when things don't go on our way, we will still be grateful and move forward to your guide, guidance. Dear Father, to you all the glory and adoration. And this is all we pray in the mighty name of our Lord Jesus. Amen. In the name of the Father, and of the Son,
Amen.
and of the Holy
Amen. Thank you so much, Mary Pauline. Very good. So, again, before we proceed to our discussion, can I ask first if am I audible or am I clear? Is my audio clear to you? Okay, thank you. So, before we proceed to our topic, there are some classroom rules that you need to remember. The first one, listen carefully, try your best, be respectful, raise your hands or your virtual hands if you wanted to answer or if you have some questions. And the most important is enjoy the lesson or enjoy learning, okay? So last time we have talked about the elements of drama, right? So we have described that drama is a composition in prose form that presents a story entirely told in dialogue, action, and written with the intention of its eventual performance before the audience. Again, what are the elements of drama in literature, Lisa? Can you read? Go on.
Uh,
The elements
settings,
of drama in literature.
settings, character, theme, plots, and dialogue.
Thank you. How about the elements of drama in terror? Can you read, Aliyah?
Scenery, costumes, props, lights, and sounds.
All right, very good. So much for that. Before we proceed to our topic, let us have an activity called Unlock the Hidden Words. So here, you're just going to describe what can you see in the pictures. I'll be calling someone to describe what can you see in the picture, have you observed in the picture, and then you're just going to complete the hidden words. Complete the letters to form a word. Just like, for example, the first one. So, who would like to give it a try? Can I see those hands? Christian, Go on.
Problem.
Problem. So what can you describe what have you observed in the picture?
Nahihirapan po siya.
Yeah, very good. So the answer is problem, right? Precisely. How about the second picture? Can you describe what is the second image portraying and the hidden word behind those image? Cyrus,
Struggle po.
struggle, very good. So the it seems like that the fisherman is struggling, all right? How about the last one? Who wants to answer? It's kind of hard, but it's actually easy. Go on, you can do it. Althea.
Opposition forces po ba?
Yeah, very good. That's right. Opposite forces. So as you can see, there is an image. They are playing tug of war. So uh, now that we have unlocked these words, do you notice something about this word problem, struggle, opposition forces? So these words such as problem and opposition forces and struggles are what we are going to talk about. These words describes the topic which is our topic this afternoon, the types of conflict, all right? So today, expect that you will discover the conflicts presented in literary selection and the need to resolve those conflicts in a non-violent way. All right. So, without further ado, let us begin our topic, which is the type of conflict. Let's describe what is a conflict. Can you read? Um, yeah. I can see those. Wait. See. Pumela, can you read? Eliza Pumela, can you read the text? Can you read the conflict?
Conflict is a struggle or problem faced by the character either by being external or internal.
All right, very good. So when we say conflict, the struggle or problem faced by the character, meaning to say that someone is having a problem or having struggle or opposition with another, with someone or something. So we can always notice that uh, conflict is present in the movies that we are watching, right? In the stories that we are reading, and in even in our daily lives we face different kinds of conflict or struggle or opposition forces. So who among you here had watched the hit series All of Us Are Dead? All right, so what is the conflict that is present there? We can see that suddenly there's a zombie outbreak that happened in that campus, and the protagonist or the main character, the student, like Chongnam. Do you remember that? Halos nakabisado na nga natin yung pangalan nila, di ba? Chongnam, si Namra. So they were having struggle to go outside the campus and find their family, and they were struggling to fight those zombie. So that is the conflict in that story. So in the story, it is possible to have different kinds of conflict. Um, what do you call this? There are variety of conflicts that are present in a story. So it can be either external or internal. So let's discuss these two kinds of conflict, which is internal and external conflict. So when we say internal conflict, this refers to the opposition coming within self, meaning to say that the conflict or the problem is on the inside. It's internal. Example, when the character is um, struggling to choose, when the character is struggling or having problem uh, with regards to her decision, or the character is doubting. Okay, so example, Isa is doubting when if she was able to pass the exam because the subject that is very hard. So the conflict is internal, is on the inside. Okay, so that the example of internal conflict is man versus self, meaning to say that refers to the opposition coming within self, sa atin, in us. The problem is within us. So as you can see in the picture, this woman is struggling if she's going to do the right or the wrong thing. Okay, meanwhile, when we see external conflict, this refers to the opposition between an individual and some outside forces, meaning to say that the opposition is outside, external, or the conflict is caused by other. Example, when character is fighting against someone or having problem with other people. So the conflict is coming from other people and that in that character. Let's say for example, Cyrus. Cyrus is fighting with his brother because his brother is teasing him that he is not good at TikTok dancing. So example lang yun ah. So the conflict is external, having he is having a conflict with his brother, meaning to say there is an opposition, there is a struggle or problem between Cyrus and his brother. So that is the external conflict, meaning to say that the opposition is coming from the outside. So the example type of conflict here is man versus character, man versus society, man versus nature, man versus supernatural, and man versus um, technology. And another one, and the seventh one is, sorry, I didn't put it. It is man versus faith. Okay, so do you understand? Okay, so let's if you have understand, let's see this example. The first one, example, Mary Pauline. Wow, Mary Pauline was uncertain if she choose the red team or the blue team. So do you think what is the conflict? Is it internal or external? You can unmute your mic, class. Is the conflict internal or external? Um, Peter, he just joined. Mary Pauline, go on.
Internal po.
Yeah, right. That's internal because you were struggling to choose. Yeah. How about the second one? I screamed the tree crashed into the roof and into my bedroom. What do you think is the conflict? Is it internal or external? Who wants to answer? I can see, sorry, I wasn't able to see. Wait. Um, who raised his hands? Althea?
External po.
Yeah, external because the conflict is coming from the roof. From the tree that crashed to her bedroom. Okay. How about the third one? The swarm of bees flew straight towards him, and he ran as fast as he could. What do you think is the conflict, internal or external? Aliyah?
External.
External, very good, because the swarm of bee is causing struggle to John. Okay. How about the fourth one? Can I call Isa? Eliza. I know there's Eliza here. So Eliza knew that she should tell the truth, but didn't want to hurt her brother. So would you like to answer, Isa?
Internal po.
Ano again?
Internal po.
Yeah, right. That's internal. Very good, because she was having a problem with her, having problem dealing with herself, and that about the truth that she wants to tell. She should tell the truth. if she tell the truth or not. Sorry. How about the fifth one? Who would like to answer? Matthew felt the pressure of doing his best in the game and he became very nervous. What do you think is the conflict, internal or external? Go on, Isa.
Internal po.
Yeah, very good. So that is internal because Matthew is having pressure about he is very nervous with the game. Okay. Wait, see. Okay. So now let's proceed to the second one. The types of conflict, sorry, the seven types of conflict, which is the first one is man versus himself. So when we say man versus himself, the main character battles himself or herself. So the key here is that the battle occur within the character, okay? So meaning to say inside the character, in herself, himself. It may involve or affect the other character, even though it causes a conflict to other character. As long as the main character is having trouble with himself, it is man versus himself. Okay. So example here, let's say this example. Have you watched the movie or Disney movie Tangled? Who among you here have watched it? Okay. So the story here is that beautiful Prince Rapunzel has been locked away in the tower because she was captured by the old woman, right? The fog woman. So because her magical blonde hair can cause youth, can give the power to keep that woman young. So that woman snatched or robbed Rapunzel when she was age. So at the age of 18, Rapunzel became curious about the outside world. So when he meet the prince, he uses her hair to go with the prince and to escape her mother. So the conflict in the movie is that she cannot decide if she wants to stay in the tower or defy her mother's wishes and leave the tower. So the type of conflict is man versus himself or Rapunzel versus herself because she's struggling to decide if she's going to leave her mother or she's going to stay in the tower. So of course when there is conflict, there's a solution. So the solution here is uh, Rapunzel pursues her dream of exploring the outside world, and we can see that the ending is it ends in happily ever after. Okay. So when we say man versus himself, the conflict is within himself, meaning to say nasa loob or in ourself mismo. Okay. The next one is the seven types. The second types of conflict is man versus character. So, would you like to read Juan Carlo?
Man versus character. In this type of conflict, the central character clashes with another character.
Okay, so the central character clashes with another character. It could be either the central character is the protagonist or the bida clash with another character. So that is man versus character. So let's see this example. I guess every one of you is familiar with the story Cinderella, right? So it can be seen in the movie, in the books that we are reading. So this Cinderella is a dreamer who was trapped in her mother family. So these stepsisters of her and this stepmother doesn't really appreciate or love her. Instead, they enslaved her. So when she asked that if she could go to the ball, uh, they didn't. They prevented her to go there because it is her dream to meet the prince. So because of the help of the mice and her grandmother, right, she was able to go there and fulfill her dreams. So the conflict is that Cinderella wants to go to the ball, but her wicked stepmother prevented her from going. So that she could not meet the prince. Okay, so the type of conflict is Cinderella versus herself, the stepmother or man versus the character, okay? Because they are preventing Cinderella to go to the ball. So they are causing Cinderella. The other character is causing Cinderella to struggle or to have problem, okay? So the solution is that she fell in love with the prince and got married, okay? So do you understand, class? The man versus character. Okay, thank you. So for us to further understand the man versus character, let's see this situation example about man versus character. But this time, I'll be asking someone to give your idea about this. So here's the conflict scenario. Okay, so what if you and your classmate had a misunderstanding about your group work suggestion and she keeps on sharing memes on Facebook about being bida-bida pertaining to you? So you know that you are trying to share your opinion, but she misinterpreted your words. What are you going to do, or how are you going to deal with the problem in a non-violent way? So would you like to share your idea? Would like to try to answer? Can I? Would like to answer, Cass? Do you understand the situation, or is it's kinda hard to cope? What if you and your classmate have a misunderstanding? For example, Juan Carlo and Aliyah had a misunderstanding about your opinion about because teacher CJ had assigned you to have a group work activity, and you're fighting over your opinions with each other. So example, Aliyah was annoyed with Juan Carlo because Juan Carlo is having his opinion, other opinion. So Aliyah keeps on posting on Facebook about the memes being bida-bida pertaining to Juan Carlo. Example. So, because Juan Carlo is just trying to um, give his opinion, so Aliyah had misinterpreted it. So, what are you going to do? How are you going to solve that problem? What is the initial reaction that you are going to do? How are you going to solve that problem in a non-violent way? Who would like to try? Okay, so I'll be calling Mary Pauline.
I will talk to my classmates privately. I will talk to them privately and say it's just a misunderstanding and we just have to talk it out.
All right, very good. So you're going to talk to her privately, and it's just a misunderstanding. That's very good way of fixing the fight, or um, restoring your relationship to your classmates. So, okay, so it's very good. It's important that we know how to handle this kind of conflict, okay? Because this may cause a big trouble, right? This may cause some of your classmates hate your other classmate, okay? So sometimes all we need is to understand the situation, okay? Thank you so much, Mary Pauline. So now let's proceed to the third type of conflict, which is a man versus society. When we say man versus society, with this type of conflict, the main character challenges a law, tradition, or situation, meaning to say the main character is against or versus the law, the tradition, or the institution. Let's see this example. So, who among you here is familiar with this movie, The Outsider? I guess this is a series. I haven't watched this actually, but when I read the story, it's kind of beautiful story. But here, the conflict is that Pony Boy genuinely likes Story. So, but their blossoming relationship is strained by the difference in their social circle. So the conflict is Pony Boy versus Cherry, and Pony Boy and Cherry versus their social circle, because the social circle of Ponyboy is poor greaser, meaning to say their circle is mahirap, poor. And meanwhile, Chelsea is coming from the Sox, which means they are rich teenagers. So can you see the conflict there? Like they are living in the langit at lupa relationship. So they're having hard time with their relationship. So they're the opposition forces that cause them to struggle is the society or their social circle. So the solution is that Pony Boy respect she and understand the difficult situation that she is in. Okay, so the fourth type of conflict is man versus nature. When we say man versus nature, can you read, Kyle?
The main character fights to endure or overcome forces of nature. He or she may struggle to survive harsh elements, navigate through disaster, or meet his or her basic needs.
All right, very good. So man versus nature, meaning to say that this the character is having a trouble with the nature, or fighting over to overcome the nature, like for example earthquake, storm, flood, and so on and so forth, that is coming from the nature. So the opposition forces is from the nature, just like what we have discussed a while ago, that the tree is falling from the roof in the internal and external. So that's one example of man versus nature. So let's see this example. The fishermen of Barrio Alfonso have hopes of catching plenty of fish, but then after few hours of fishing in the middle of the sea, they were tormented with a strong storm. So that is the conflict. Meanwhile, the type of conflict is the fisherman versus the storm, or the man versus the nature, because the storm is tormenting the fisherman, so that they aren't able to fish to the sea. So the solution there is that the fisherman manages to hide the boat at the safer side of the island. So another example is that, who among you here had watched the San Andrea movie? I guess it's led by The Rock. It's a very great movie. It's a very good literature that shows the man versus nature. Have you watched that? The San Andreas? It's kind of intense. So we can see that The Rock and his family is clashing, or having conflict with the nature, the earthquake rather. So the big one, the nature is their opponent. All right. So do you understand the man versus nature? Okay. So the fifth type of conflict is the man versus supernatural. Sorry. Sorry. Wait, I'll just fix my. Alright. So who would like to read the man versus supernatural? Can you read, Peter? Peter, igalaw mo ang baso. Or, okay, thank you. How about Regina? Regina or Regina? Can you read? Okay. Don't worry, okay, no worries. Sian, can you read? Okay, so seems like that they can hear us. Let me read this one. So man versus supernatural. In stories with this type of conflict, the main character resists forces that are not in the world. Just like, for example, the aswang, the ghost, the dragons that are not actually in the world. They are not existing. So the key here to remember this man versus supernatural is that the conflict is that the forces the forces that are not of this world threaten the main character. So I guess you are thinking some other movies like Supernatural. So that is one. Have you watched that movie? Then when Dean Dean Winchester and Sam, that's very. I guess many of you was familiar with that episode, series or movie. I'm not sure, but that is a example of man versus supernatural. So let's see this example. So here, Calpurnia has a dream where she imagines Caesar's blood running like a fountain, and she does not want him to go to the capital on the Ides of March. Caesar almost listens to her until Decius Brutus convinces him to reinterpret the dream as a positive sign. Of course, it wasn't. So Caesar was assassinated in the Ides of March. So that is Calpurnia is having conflict with her dream. So the type of conflict here is man versus supernatural. How is it? How is it that it is man versus supernatural when there is no ghost, no aswang, no other creature? Because California versus the bad omen or the bad sign of her dream, that dream is having causing her to have conflict. Meaning to say that when we say supernatural, these are the things that are unbelievable. So the bad omen of California's dream is unbelievable. So it can be considered as supernatural. Something that is not real or something that does not actually exist in the world. So it is the one or the bad omen of her dream is causing conflict to Calpurnia. So we can consider that as man versus supernatural, okay? So the solution is that she had taken her dream to potent danger to Caesar, okay? So she warned Caesar to not go to the Ides of March, but then Caesar didn't listen. So Caesar was assassinated. So next, the sixth types of conflict is man versus technology. Can I ask Isa to read?
Man versus technology. In a story with this type of conflict, the main character resists technological forces. He or she may just struggle to accept or use the technology of a changing the world.
Okay, so man versus technology, very good. Meaning to say that the technology versus the character, or technology versus you, the main character. So this can be also the new invention, not just the technology itself, but the other creations or the inventions of the people. Okay, so that is one to take note about this man versus technology. But later on, I'll further explain it with our example. So most of the time, man versus technology, we can consider this type of conflict in our parents or in our grandparents, because sometimes they are having problem or trouble or struggling to use cell phones, right? Sometimes they are asking you to operate the Facebook. How am I going to post my day, right? Or sometimes they are using the brightness too much up. So we can see that they are adjusting or they are having conflict with the technology itself. So let's see this example, just like what I have mentioned with the type of conflict. So if you're familiar with the movie Dr. Frankenstein, have you watched this movie or not yet? Okay, so if you have time, watch this movie. This is also a good movie about man versus technology. So in this story, Dr. Frankenstein is a very gifted doctor or scientist. He succeed in inventing a new invention, which is he sewed parts of the body that creates, which soon create a monster or a being. But suddenly, this creation turns to be hideous, meaning to say ugly creation. And the society, the people cannot accept this new invention of or creation, this monster created by Dr. Frankenstein. So the conflict is that Dr. Frankenstein bring a being to life, sewing together body parts from the graveyard. Despite of having good intention, the monster he created frightens all he encounters. He frightens all the people that he encounters and comes after Dr. Frankenstein. And that monster blames Dr. Frankenstein for his miserable existence. So that monster is causing the humanity or Dr. Frankenstein. Excuse me. So the opposition is the new invention or the new creation of Dr. Frankenstein. The type of conflict is that Dr. Frankenstein versus his creation. Okay, so man versus technology. So what he did is that Dr. Frankenstein ran away from the monster he created. So that is not a very good solution, but that is what he did. Soon after, Dr. Frankenstein died. Okay, so if you were Dr. Frankenstein, would you run from the things that you have done, that you have committed when you committed a mistake? Would you run from it? It is important that we solve the problem when we face it. Okay. So the last type of conflict is the man versus fate. So this, a character struggle with his this destiny or fate, meaning to say when we say fate, destiny exists in a story in which the protagonist is sorry protagonist is struggling against a gods. It's sometimes considered part of man versus supernatural. Sometimes man versus fate is considered as man versus natural when the god is not really the true god, not existing, and that god is causing sorry that god is causing Ate, nagdidemo. Ate, nagdidemo. Wait lang. Sorry for the interruption. So man versus fate can be considered as man versus supernatural. So meaning to say that the struggle or the problem is within his destiny. Just like as you can see example, in the example image. So it says that I had a bad day. So sometimes we go through having a bad day, right? So uh, may time limit. Sorry. Okay, so sorry, where was I? So let's see this example. So have you watched this movie, The Terminal? Uh, Most of the time we can see this on Facebook. We can see this appearing to Facebook short video clip. So The Terminal. So the story here is that the hero is named Victor Naborsky. He has arrived at the vast American airport just as his station, Krakusia, has fallen in a cow. Therefore, his passport and visa are worthless. So Victor was trapped in that country, in America, in that airport, in that place. So sorry for the noise. His country is no longer existing and he cannot go forward or go back. On the customs official uh, tells him he is free. Sorry. Lounge but forbidden to step foot on American soil. Story is Victor was trapped to the airport and he has no country to go back. So he struggled to go to communicate to people because he wasn't able to speak English, and that what he did, the solution he did to that conflict, Again, the example conflict here is the man versus fate. So he struggled to speak to the people with English and to find his food because he was stuck to the terminal. Okay, so how did he solve the conflict? He made a way to survive in staying the airport and teaching himself the English language. Okay, so that is the conflict in that stories. Again, when we say the conflict, it is the struggle or problem faced by the character. Okay, it can be the character is the protagonist or the sidekick of the story, or you yourself can be the conflict. Okay, so the seven types of conflict again is the two kinds of conflict is the internal or external, which we have an activity a while ago. Meanwhile, the seven types of conflicts are the man versus himself, man versus character, man versus society, man versus nature, man versus supernatural, man versus technology. The last one is man versus himself. So, do you have question, class? Do you have any question? Okay, thank you. How about the others? Is it clear? Okay, so before we end our discussion, let us remember that every one of us experience different kinds of problem or conflict. We have different kinds of circumstances that we experience. Maybe some of you are experiencing man versus himself, or John is experiencing man versus society conflict. And the truth is, no one is exempted to experience these struggles, right? All of us experience this struggle, man versus the internal and external conflict. But it depends on you, on how you're going to respond to this conflict. So when we face difficult people, just like your classmate that you have clashed with, for example, like the scenario a while ago, when we face these difficult people, how are we going to handle them? So are we going to see this conflict as positive or negative? But one thing is for sure, conflicts are meant for us to mature and for us to be strong. Okay, so especially in your class, you have so much to learn. So this conflicts will teach us many things. So it is important in a story or in a literature. Sorry for the noises, background noises. In a literature or in the stories that you are reading, it is important that there is conflict. Have you noticed that? Have you noticed that in a story, when there is no conflict there, it's kind of a boring story, right? So it's conflict as a big factor with a story or the movie that you are reading. It has a big factor in our life. So without conflict, how are we going to enjoy the movie? How are we going to enjoy the story of your life when there is no problem or struggle that you are facing? So we are all the bida of our life when we face conflict, okay? So it is important that we make sure that we face this conflict in a wisely, in a non-violent way, okay? So for our assessing part, I want you to watch this video attentively, and then later on, I'm going to, you will answer the following question. Uh, don't worry, these questions are just easy. Okay, so let's watch this. Does it have sound? No sound. Wait. I'll just fix it. So, does it have sound already? Not yet. How can this? Wala pa rin, class? Wala pa rin siyang sound. Hello? Nariyan pa ba kayo? Okay.
Wala pa pong sound.
Wala pa din. Sorry. Wait, see. Sorry for the interruption. I have fixed this. Wait. Wala pa din siyang sound.
Wala pa po.
Wala pa din. Paano kaya ito? I had already tried this a while ago. But it has sound. How come that there's no
Excuse me
sound?
po, may I-interrupt? Maybe I'll just present the video because PowerPoint, videos included in the PowerPoint usually doesn't present with sound sometimes. So baka po dahil siya nasa PowerPoint, kaya hindi siya nagkakaroon ng sound. So I've already found the video. Let me just present this video and then you can go back to the presentation later.
Okay, thank you po.
Okay, so this is 2 minutes long, 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Hopefully you can hear the audio loud and clear. Okay, so this is the video.
Kasi ano pinakanyana, sabi niya, asin ba wallet niya? Eh sabi ko, ano, may pera, sabi niya, wala yung pera niya.
Okay, thank you so much, Ma'am CJ. Okay, so now for our processing question, I'm just going to answer what is the type of conflict that is present in the clip and why. The next is, in what particular situation in your life you can relate to the conflict of the video. You can provide a scenario in your life if you have experienced this, the video that you watch. And if you were one of the characters in the video, how are you going to resolve the problem? Okay, so uh, you can write your answers on the chat box. So later on, I'll be calling someone to share your ideas here. I'll be giving you, um, what time is it? 5 minutes to answer. Okay. Okay, so I think the time is up. So who would like to share your idea at the class? Again, class, you can type your answer at the chat box if you want to. So who would like to share your idea about the processing question? Or I'll be calling someone to share your idea. Okay, so can I call Cyrus? Would you like to share your idea, your answers to us? How about John Emmanuel? Okay, so seems like no one wants to share his answer or her answer, but you can just uh, take picture with your answer, and then Mom CJ, how are we going to this processing question? Are they just going to send it to the ARA links?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so uh, take picture of your answers about this question if you're done, and then just send it to the ARA links. I'll manage it later, but for your book activity, so regarding about the topic that Mom CJ had discussed last time, had reminded to you last time, kindly read the written by Ismael V. Malari. So the link of the story will be posted on the ARA links. So after that, kindly answer the activity number 3. Let's discuss. If I'm not mistaken, right, Mom CJ?
Let me check po. Pero we have book activity number 4 for strangers. And aside from that, you are to create your exit slip for this particular topic. So this is the same topic. So you're just going to have, I'm just going to remind you to create your exit slip. You already have 4 so far, and hopefully everyone po is aware that we have the project in the process po. So sana before the quarter ends, our tasks are already accomplished.
Okay, thank you, Mom CJ. I would like to call on Mom Dazo.
Uh, Hello, everyone. Hello, Mona. Are you done with your teaching, demo teaching?
Yes, Mom. Sorry for the interruption, but I'm actually finished po.
Okay, okay. Thank you very much, Mona, Miss Mona. Thank you very much, children, for your participation. I can see that all are participating okay with your lessons. And congratulations for your demo today. I can see that you are very nervous. No, nararamdaman ko yung nervous mo. Plus, you can relax. No, don't be nervous. Mapapractice mo pa yan sa mga susunod na mga ano mo. Ma'am CJ, pagturuin mo po siya ng pagturuin palagi para mawala yung nervous niya. And I appreciate your lesson, the jumbled words earlier in the one you use for energizers are good. The students are very participative in that area. Also, the slide presentation that you presented to the children, are full of explanation. Kompleto lahat yung mga explanations ng lessons, and very substantial. Also, the video that you presented to the children are very relative, no? Nakaka-relate naman yung mga bata with the conflict. Medyo, I also appreciate these processing questions, no? Kaya lang, I also notice, and it is natural siguro sa mga high school students na talagang kapag essay na medyo you cannot ask them immediately pag essay
Yeah.
questions. It takes time, or maybe you can just give this as an assignment, no? Kasi the children prefer short questions and short answer kapag mga kapag mga oral questions na ganyan, no? They it's either they are shy or not confident enough to speak more, or maybe talagang tahimik lang sila, they don't want ayaw na lang ng madaldal siguro. And aside from that, I also noticed na medyo may noise diyan sa paligid mo, Mona.
Yes.
Are you at home? No, kapatid
Yes
mo ba yun?
po.
Parang kinakausap ka while you're teaching?
Bigla pong po expected. Sorry, apology po for the interruption.
Yes. That's natural kasi kapag nasa bahay ka talaga. So and we cannot help that. But anyway, so far everything is good. Everything is fine, and I appreciate everything. Congratulations. It is a job well done for me, and you can improve more as time goes by, and yeah, the lesson is good, and congratulations, and thank you, Ma'am CJ, again for mentoring our student teachers, and thank you for the students who participated. I can see their facial expression kanina, ngumingiti sila, they even nod when they understand the lessons. When they didn't understand, they just shake their heads, and that's good that even their face, even though they don't speak a lot, but their facial expression communicates with the teacher. So congratulations, children, and more power, and thank you to all of you. Maraming salamat, Ma'am Christine Joy.
You so much
Congratulations,
po.
Mona.
Thank you so much, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your day. This is the last session we have for this week. Next week po, we will have changes in schedule po. So please be reminded with that. I will send the schedule na lang siguro on weekends. And again, thank you so much, St. John, and I will see you next week. Bye, everyone. I'll stop recording po pala.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Thank you. Thank you, children. Thank you, Ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Congrats, Mona.
Thank you so much, St. John. Thank you po. Salamat po na madami.